deeper into one of the most powerful yet underrated habits that can truly change your life. Sleep, not just sleep for rest, but sleep for growth, memory, energy, and emotional strength. When we think about sleep, we often take it for granted. Sleep, it's something we all do every single night without really thinking much about it. But the truth is, sleep is one of the most important activities our bodies and minds can engage in. It's not just a time when the body shuts down and takes a break. In fact, sleep is an incredibly active time for our brain and body. During sleep, our body repairs itself, our brain processes everything we experience during the day, and we get the energy we need to wake up and do it all over again. But when we don't get enough sleep, the results can be seen and felt. Almost immediately, we might feel tired, grumpy, slow, or even sick. And over time, a lack of sleep can seriously harm our physical and mental health. That's why understanding the value of sleep and making it a priority is one of the smartest choices we can make for ourselves. Let's think about what happens when we sleep. Our brain starts organizing and storing all the information we took in during the day. It's kind of like cleaning your room and putting everything in the right place. Without sleep, our brain doesn't get the chance to sort out our thoughts, memories, and emotions. That's why when we don't sleep well, we can feel confused or forgetful. The next day, sleep helps us concentrate better, make smarter decisions, and feel emotionally balanced. On the other hand, not getting enough rest can make us more anxious, moody, or stressed. It's almost like sleep gives our emotions a reset button so we can start fresh every morning. Our bodies also rely on sleep for physical health. While we rest, our bodies work hard to repair. Muscles grow tissue and boost our immune system. That's why sleep is so important when we're sick or trying to recover from an injury. It helps the body heal faster. People who regularly sleep well have a lower risk of serious conditions like heart disease, diabetes, and high blood pressure. Sleep also helps regulate hormones that control hunger and metabolism. If we don't sleep enough, our hunger hormones can get out of balance, making us crave more food than we actually need. That's why people who are sleep deprived often struggle with weight gain even if they eat healthy or exercise. Even kids and teenagers need good sleep to grow properly and do well in school. Young people need more sleep than adults because their bodies and brains are still developing sleep supports, learning, memory, creativity, and even problem-solving skills. A well-rested child is usually more focused, happier, and ready to learn. But when children don't get enough rest, they may become cranky, have trouble paying attention in class, or act out in frustration. It's not just about going to bed early, it's about getting the deep, restful kind of sleep that allows the brain and body to truly recharge. There's also the matter of safety. When we're sleep deprived, our reaction times slow down, just like when someone is under the influence of alcohol. This can make driving, working, or doing everyday tasks more dangerous. In fact, many car accidents and workplace injuries happen because someone was too tired to pay attention. Sleep keeps our senses sharp and our reflexes quick. It helps us stay alert and focused so we can make better choices and avoid accidents. It's not just a matter of feeling tired, it's a matter of keeping ourselves and others safe. Sadly, in today's fast-paced world, many people treat sleep as something optional. We work late, scroll through our phones, watch TV into the early hours, and push our bodies past their limits. We often hear phrases like, "I'll sleep when I'm dead," or "You can't be successful if you sleep too much." But this mindset is harmful. Real success and productivity don't come from burning ourselves out. They come from balance, focus, and health. And sleep is at the center of all three. People who get enough sleep tend to perform better at work, think more clearly, and have more energy to take on challenges. Technology has made it even harder to prioritize sleep. With our phones, laptops, and TVs always within reach, It's easy to stay up late and lose track of time, but the blue light from screens actually tricks our brain into thinking it's still daytime, which can mess up our natural sleep rhythm. That's why sleep experts recommend turning off screens at least an hour before bed and creating a bedtime routine that helps the body wind down. Reading a book, taking a warm shower, or listening to calming music can all signal to your body that it's time to rest. Our environment also plays a big role in the quality of our sleep. A quiet, dark and cool room is ideal for deep rest. Noise, bright lights and uncomfortable beds can prevent us from falling asleep or staying asleep. Even small changes like blackout curtains, a white noise machine or a better mattress can make a huge difference-making. Sleep a priority means creating a space that supports relaxation and calm. It's not just about how long we sleep, but how well we sleep during that time. Stress and anxiety are two big enemies of sleep. When our minds are racing with worries or fears, it can be hard to relax and fall asleep. That's why many people struggle with insomnia or wake up in the middle of the night feeling restless. Learning how to manage stress through meditation, breathing exercises, journaling, or talking to someone can improve sleep quality. Sometimes just writing down our thoughts before bed can help quiet the mind and prepare us for rest. Sleep and mental health go hand in hand. When we sleep better, we feel better mentally, and when our mental health is strong, we tend to sleep better too. Sleep is not a waste of time. It's not something we should feel guilty about needing. In fact, sleep is one of the most powerful tools we have for staying healthy, focused, and happy. It helps us process emotions, fight off sickness, make better choices, and even feel more connected to the people around us. Skipping sleep might seem like a way to get more done, but it often backfires. We end up doing less, forgetting more, and feeling worse. On the other hand, when we sleep well, we bring our best selves to every part of life. You don't have to completely change your life to start sleeping better. Even small changes can help. Going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, including weekends, can help set your internal clock. Avoiding caffeine or heavy meals before bedtime can also make a difference. And learning to relax, unwind, and create a bedtime routine can help signal to your body that it's time to rest. These habits might seem simple, but they can lead to big improvements in how you feel every day. When we talk about why sleep is important, we can't forget how deeply it affects our emotions and relationships. A good night's rest doesn't just help us think better, it also helps us feel better toward other people. When we sleep well, we are more patient, more understanding, and more able to connect with those around us. On the flip side, when we're sleep deprived, we can be short-tempered, irritable, and easily frustrated. Small problems start to feel like big ones, and we often take things more personally than we normally would imagine. Trying to have a serious conversation with a friend or loved one after pulling an all-nighter, your thoughts aren't clear, your mood is off, and misunderstandings happen quickly. That's the impact of poor sleep. And over time, this can wear down even the strongest of relationships. Also, when we talk about emotional health, we should also talk about mental health. Lack of sleep and mental health challenges are tightly connected. People who suffer from depression, anxiety, or other emotional struggles often find it hard to sleep well, and the less they sleep, the worse their symptoms may become. It turns into a cycle that's hard to break. But when someone starts to sleep better, they usually notice improvements in how they feel. Emotionally, their moods become more stable, their thoughts more clear, and their sense of hope a little stronger. Sleep can't fix everything, but it can provide a foundation for healing. That's why sleep is often one of the first things doctors and therapists ask about when treating mental health conditions. It's not just a side issue, it's part of the solution. Another reason sleep matters so much is that it helps with our memory. When we're awake, we take in huge amounts of information. Every second, sounds, sights, words, feelings, ideas. But without sleep, our brains don't get the chance to organize and store all of that data. It just floats around unfiled like papers. scattered across a desk. But when we sleep, especially during deep sleep in REM, rapid eye movement sleep, our brain goes to work. It files things away, makes connections, and strengthens the pathways we'll use the next day. That's why people who sleep well after studying for a test often do better than those who stay up all night. Cramming their brain had time to lock in the learning. It's also why people sometimes wake up with a solution to a problem they couldn't figure out. The night before sleep gives our brains space to work behind the scenes and figure things out. Sleep is also a major player in how we manage pain. When we're well rested, our pain threshold is higher. That means we're more able to handle discomfort without it affecting us too much. But when we're tired, even small aches can feel overwhelming. People with chronic pain often notice their symptoms get worse when they don't sleep well. It's not just about the body, it's about how the brain processes pain signals with good sleep. The brain is better at calming down those signals and helping us cope without it. The pain can feel sharper and more constant. Sleep doesn't eliminate pain, but it does help us live with it more comfortably. One of the most fascinating things about sleep is how it affects our creativity. Great artists, musicians, writers and inventors have all talked about how important rest is for coming up with new ideas. That's because the dreaming brain doesn't follow the same logical rules as the waking brain. It makes strange, random connections that can lead to real breakthroughs. You might dream about flying over a forest and wake up with the idea for a new story painting or song, or you might fall asleep thinking about a work problem and wake up with a creative solution you hadn't considered. This isn't magic, it's the brain using downtime to rearrange information in new ways. When we're rested, we're not just more alert, we're more imaginative, more inspired, and more willing to try new things. Our skin also shows the effects of sleep when we get enough rest. Our skin looks fresh, clear, and glowing. But when we're tired, we often see dark circles under the eyes, dull skin, or even breakouts. That's because sleep is when our skin repairs itself. Blood flow increases, collagen is produced, and damage from sunlight or stress is healed. People who get consistent high-quality sleep often look younger and more vibrant. Meanwhile, sleep-deprived skin shows signs of aging faster. This is why sleep is sometimes called the best beauty treatment you can't buy. No cream or mask can replace the effects of real deep rest. There's also growing evidence that sleep is linked to how we age overall. People who sleep well tend to live longer, healthier lives. They have better brain function, stronger immune systems, and lower risks of diseases like Alzheimer's and cancer. This doesn't mean that sleep alone is enough to prevent illness, but it does play a major role in long-term health. Scientists have even found that certain types of brain cleaning only happen during deep sleep. During this time, the brain clears out waste materials that build up during the day. If these materials don't get cleaned out regularly, they can lead to memory loss and other problems later in life. So when we sleep, we're not just recovering from the day, we're also protecting our future. One more benefit of sleep is how it helps us stay motivated. When we're rested, we're more likely to set goals, stick with plans, and push through challenges. But when we're exhausted, we lose willpower, everything feels harder, and we start avoiding tasks that require effort. That's why even a small nap can make a big difference in motivation. It resets the brain, restores energy, and helps us refocus on what matters. This is true for schoolwork, exercise, or any kind of personal growth. Rest is not the opposite of ambition, it's part of it. Successful people don't just work hard, they also rest smart. Despite all this, millions of people still struggle with sleep. Some have medical conditions like sleep apnea or restless leg syndrome. Others face stress, worry, or work schedules that interfere with normal sleep patterns. But the good news is that help is available. Doctors, therapists, and sleep specialists can offer advice and treatments to improve sleep quality, and in many cases, simple changes in lifestyle can make a big difference. Turning off screens earlier, avoiding caffeine late in the day, creating a peaceful sleep environment, and sticking to a schedule. All of these can help train the body to sleep better. It may take time, but the results are worth it. Life feels easier, clearer, and more joyful. When we're rested, sleep is something so natural yet so powerful. It's free, it's available to everyone, and it can change everything from our thoughts and emotions to our health and relationships. Sleep touches every part of life. When we ignore it, we suffer in ways we might not even realize. But when we respect it, protect it, and prioritize it, we open the door to a better, more energized life. Sleep is not just about rest. It's about becoming the best version of ourselves. And the best part is, every single one of us has the power to start tonight. When we think about sleep, we often take it for granted. We assume it's something we do because we're tired or just to pass time between days. But the truth is, sleep is far more than that. It's one of the most powerful tools our body and brain use to repair, reset, and grow stronger. It's as important as eating, drinking, and breathing. Without it, we fall apart mentally, emotionally, and physically. In this final part, let's take a deep dive into how sleep affects every corner of our lives, from our relationships and creativity to long-term success, memory, and emotional balance. Imagine waking up after a full night of restful sleep. You feel clear-headed, calm, and ready to face the day. Your mind isn't foggy. You're not snapping at people around you. Your thoughts are steady. That's not just a good mood. It's a biological reset that sleep has provided. Sleep regulates our emotions. It controls how we react to stress, how patient we are, and even how we interpret other people's facial expressions or tone of voice. A tired brain is more likely to misread someone's intentions and overreact emotionally. That's why sleep-deprived people are more likely to get into arguments, feel lonely, or isolate themselves. Now, think about memory. Your brain works like a huge filing cabinet. Every experience, every fact you learn, every skill you practice during the day, your brain tries to store it. But this filing process doesn't happen while you're awake. It happens when you sleep. Especially during REM and deep sleep, your brain moves short-term memories into long-term storage. That's why pulling an all-nighter before an exam rarely helps. You might think you're cramming information, but without sleep, your brain won't be able to lock in that information. In fact, you might forget most of it the next day. So if you want to learn better, be more creative, and think faster, sleep is your best study partner. Speaking of creativity, sleep fuels imagination. During sleep, especially during the dream stage, your brain plays with ideas, emotions, and images. It connects things in new ways. Artists, writers, inventors, many of them credit their ideas to dreams or the quiet insights that come after waking up from deep rest. This isn't magic. It's your brain doing what it's designed to do: solve problems and find patterns. Sleep gives your brain a chance to wander without distractions, which often leads to those sudden aha moments. Now let's talk about long-term health. Sleep is a guardian of your body. Every system in your body benefits from good sleep. Your immune system, for example, becomes more active. While you rest, it produces more infection-fighting cells. That's why when you're sick, your body craves sleep. It's trying to heal chronic lack of sleep. On the other hand, makes you more vulnerable to viruses, colds, and even serious conditions like heart disease and diabetes. In fact, many major health issues have been linked to sleep deprivation. It affects your blood pressure, your metabolism, and even your hormones. Want to manage your weight better? Sleep more. When you don't sleep enough, your body produces more hunger hormones and fewer hormones that tell you you're full. Sleep also affects your relationships. When you're well rested, you're more empathetic, more patient, and more present. You listen better. You show up with energy and focus. Tired people are often distracted, short-tempered, or emotionally distant over time. This can erode trust and closeness, whether it's with your partner, your family, your kids, or your co-workers. How much you sleep can influence how connected you feel to others. Sleep literally strengthens the emotional bonds you have by keeping your mood stable and your thinking sharp. Another area where sleep plays a big role is decision. Think about how you act when you're exhausted. You take shortcuts, you procrastinate, you make rash decisions or avoid making decisions altogether. This isn't about willpower, it's about brain function. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for planning, judgment, and self-control, doesn't work properly without enough rest. This is the reason tired people tend to make more mistakes, take unnecessary risks, or say things they later regret. Good sleep is like giving your brain a full tank of fuel before a long trip. Without it, you're running on fumes and hoping not to crash. Let's also not forget motivation. When you're tired, everything feels harder. Work, exercise, chores, even the fun stuff feels like a burden. That's because sleep impacts your energy and your enthusiasm. A rested brain is optimistic. It sees possibilities. It stays committed to goals. If you've ever tried to build a new habit, like eating healthier, exercising regularly, or learning a new skill, then you know how important energy and focus are without sleep. Your brain doesn't have the strength to stick with it. It gives up faster. So if you're trying to make a change in your life, sleep might be the foundation that keeps you going. Even your sense of self is shaped by sleep. People who sleep poorly over long periods of time often feel disconnected from themselves. They may not feel like themselves anymore. That's because sleep stabilizes your emotions, sharpens your thinking, and refreshes your mood. It literally helps you feel like you. Again, this sense of stability is critical when you're going through tough times or facing major decisions. Sleep gives you clarity, it gives you confidence, and it gives you resilience. And let's not ignore the safety side either. Tiredness causes accidents on the road, at work, at home. Studies show that driving tired is just as dangerous as driving drunk. Reaction time slows attention. Drifts, mistakes happen. Whether you're operating machinery, cooking in the kitchen, or even just crossing the street, being well rested keeps you safer. It's one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to protect yourself and others. Sleep isn't lazy, it isn't optional, it's essential. And no amount of caffeine or motivation can replace what deep, restful sleep does for your body and mind. If you want to show up as your best self, focused, calm, smart, kind, creative, and strong, you need to make sleep a priority. That means setting a bedtime and sticking to it, creating a dark and quiet sleep environment, and turning off screens before bed. It means respecting sleep as part of your self-care, your health, your relationships, and your dreams for the future. So the next time you think about staying up late to finish one more task, remember this: success, happiness, and health aren't found in sleepless hustle, they're found in balance. And sleep is a key part of that balance. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs better sleep in their life. See you in the next one, right here on English Odyssey.